What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Jones Empire Podcast. I'm your host, Rudy. Hope you guys are doing amazing today. You guys are doing great on your entrepreneurship journey. I hope you guys are elevating. I hope you guys' businesses are doing successful things already. And I hope you guys are still focused and elevating. And today I want to speak about exactly that when it comes to staying focused on your business and being aligned with your purpose and what God is calling you to do. And, sometimes we don't understand why things are not working out sometimes. And it has a lot to do with carrying dead weight. And what I mean by carrying dead weight is I mean that being in relationships and friendships that you don't benefit nothing from. It's not growing you. It's not elevating you. Right. So I bring this up because I have some good clients and, we go down this rabbit hole a lot when it comes to they can't focus because they have things that their friends or their family keep asking them to do and they're carrying all the weight. And then by the time they get to their business or focus on their business, they're already drained. They're already done. They can't focus on their business. So if I say, hey, how's that app coming? You should be on this level already. And it's like, oh yeah, I had to do something for my friend. And, now you're 2 weeks behind on something that you're creating to help you get to the next level and grow your business, right? So sometimes we get caught up in helping friends and family and even sometimes coworkers. These things are not helping you grow, right? So got to start asking yourself, right? What's the purpose of this relationship? Like if I speak to this person, am I getting something back in return? Am I getting peace? Is this person educating me on something? Like, what's the purpose in this relationship, right? And we had a lot of that last year where, we probably felt like we needed to be there for everybody. I'm going to tell you now, this year, you may have to be a little selfish this year and worry about yourself and get to the next level of your business or even your personal growth this year, right? Even if that's business, that's even with personal growth, that's even with being healthy, right? If you're going to be around people and family, they have to pour into you, right? Because you may be the one that's pouring into everybody and nobody pouring back into you, right? Which get a little expensive, right? What what I mean by expensive is that now when it's time for you to do anything, like your energy is drained now because you done poured everything into somebody else, right? And nobody's pouring that back into you. So this year, focus on your purpose, what God called you to do, right? And sometimes it hurt to step back a little bit to tell somebody like, hey, yeah, I ain't really trying to do that this year. I'm gonna go focus on this. I'm gonna do this, right? Because it's too expensive to keep pouring into people, right? So a lot of us pray, like, hey, God, why is this not going on? Right? And why is this not happening? Right? And it's because God, I'm waiting on you, right? I told you to leave that relationship 2 years ago. You still in this relationship or you still in this friend group. So God is like, I'm waiting on you. You can't even be mad at nobody, right? Because things are not working out. Or you too focused on what everybody else is going to say, or you too focused on feeling like that person is going to hold you accountable for not showing up, or feel like you're not a friend for not showing up, or a family member or a coworker, right? So Sometimes you just got to cut everybody off and stop carrying dead weight, right? Sometimes growth, not sometimes, most time growth requires separation, right? You have to separate yourself from people that's not allowing you to grow, right? And that's also in relationships. If you're in a relationship and it's not a purpose relationship and you have goals and motivation and your other half is like, I don't really know about this, you might got to reevaluate that relationship, right? And unfortunately, this might be a hard conversation, but sometimes these conversations have to be had because you have to grow in this year, right? You have to grow, right? So you got to ask yourself, this year, I'm in purpose. I'm in purpose this year, right? Even when it comes to you waking up, right? You got to wake up with intent, right? Set a goal. Every day you should be setting goals, right? Every movement got a reason behind it, right? And I'm going to say it before, like I said, if it ain't purpose in this relationship, if it ain't giving me peace, and if it ain't giving me growth, like you got to detach from it, right? So like, and sometimes people get frustrated about hearing the truth, like, and it is what it is, whoop-de-doo, whoop-de-doo, because while you holding all the weight and while you're helping everybody, they walking in freely, right? They not being drained. They having the best time of their life while you carrying all the weight, right? You showing up. Oh, meet me over here. You gotta go over there. Can you meet me over here? You going over there, right? And then when it's time for you to sit down and focus on your business, like I said before, you drain, right? So what I'm saying is focus on yourself. Sometimes it's okay to be a little selfish to get where you need to be before you could turn around and help somebody else, right? So, and like I was saying before, I had this conversation with a few clients, and sometimes you have to be real with yourself. I would want somebody to be real with me, right? You cannot be a better version of yourself if you're not growing, if you're not taking these steps, if you're not waking up every day saying, I'm in alignment with my purpose and what God called me to do. You're going to always feel stuck. You're going to always feel stuck. And sometimes it's okay to tell people no. You would think that telling people no would be so easy, but people have a hard time telling people no because they feel like they have to show up for those people all the time. And those people is not returning the favor. And I'm not knocking nobody that feel like they can do all of this and still be successful, but it's real hard. Because like I said, carrying dead weight, it's only going to bring you down. That person or that friend or that family member or that coworker that you always showing up for, see how many times they show up for you, like if you need them, without giving you an excuse, right? So with that being said, guys, and I know that was a lot, let's stay focused on the business, your goals, right? And like I said, I work with a lot of clients and, I'm trying to help them grow with using AI tools and building mobile apps, which is like my favorite thing to do. But when it comes to these projects and, you got to have discipline and you got to be focused and not have outside noise keep distracting you. So letting go dead weight relationships, you have to do it. You have to do it. And sometimes that's a hard feeling to have. But trust me, it will, once you see your progress and letting go some of this dead weight and letting go these relationships that means nothing at the end of the day, because if you sit down and think about it, if you get a pen and a pad and you sit down and think about it, all these years you was in this relationship, sit down and write down what information or how did these relationships help you from the beginning to the end? Where did it take you? Right? I believe in 2026 this year is so much growth that's going to happen for entrepreneurs. It's so big, right? I feel like once you're on this entrepreneurship journey and you on your purpose, you're going to be nothing but successful. Just have to focus on letting go of that dead weight, staying tunnel vision, right? And knowing what your purpose is. Because God is like, I'm waiting on you. And sometimes we don't understand that's what's happening. But today I'm going to tell you that's what's happening. Like, you got to let go of the dead weight. Because like, it's like you're almost there and you're going. And it's like you stop to help somebody, right? And then you go in, then you stop to help somebody, right? And don't get me wrong, you can help. But when it start becoming dead weight and you're not growing from it, you got to let it go, guys. You got to let it go. And when you start realizing that like, yo, man, I ain't getting nothing from this relationship, you'll start seeing how much time you wasted. So let's get back into your rhythm. Let's get back into focus on your businesses, your growth, your personal development, your health, right? Stay in alignment with your purpose, right? So I hope this was helpful to somebody. Like I said, like a lot of things we do and we feel bad about doing, we feel like we need to be there for everybody. We should be there. I'm not saying that you cannot help. You can. But don't carry dead weight if you're not growing in your purpose. Release all these relationships that you're not growing from, right? And it's okay to lend a helping hand here and there. But be a little selfish this year. Get into your personal development. Get into your purpose. Get into your health, right? Grow your business, whatever that is, right? Tunnel vision, right? Because everybody can't come. And that's what you got to realize, right? Everybody cannot come. But they'll hold you back if you don't shake them off, right? So I hope this message reach whoever needs to reach. God bless you guys. Hope this was helpful. Thank you guys for listening. And like I said, God bless you guys. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.